I believe we have got all of the players into the lobby. So let's have a look at those map bans real quick. Thank you, our lovely producer. Cafe being banned out off the board, not an immediate coastline ban this time, so that's quite pleasant to see, but it was eventually banned out by 6. And we're going to Oregon again, Novi. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, I'm getting deja vu. I'm really getting deja vu. But here we go. It's Oregon. Look, to be fair, actually, it is a very exciting map because, you know, it's quite a level, like you said, quite a level playing field. That being said, last game wasn't quite the level playing field we were hoping for. It's very one-sided. Maybe this game will be a little bit closer.
I mean, I certainly think it's going to be an interesting one. Nemesis obviously starting on defense. Thatcher banned out off the board. Of course it was. Again, nothing much to bat your eyelids at right now. Very standard by the book. Going to be interesting to see what 6 decide to ban out as their attacking ban, as they will be starting on attack for their first 6 rounds. Drum roll, please, Novi.
Ooh. It's Flores. Is that 100% Thatcher and Flores on attack?
Yes, actually. Yes, it is. Which, you know, realistically, I respect it because, again, it's getting rid of that utility that can clear so much of that defensive utility and really just render these choke points completely ready and open for the pickings. So, ooh, nice little Whammo ban from 6 as well. So, again, going to have to really rely on those ADSs now. That's quite an interesting one because, again, if you consider the difference between the ADSs and the Whammo magnets, obviously the magnets can get rid of things like Nomad air jabs, Capitao bolts as well. So I would be curious if that little defensive banning out the magnets over the Jaeger, if we're going to see a little bit of Capitao action or something like that from 6 maybe. Wouldn't be too surprised if we did. Again, that's going to be very, very interesting seeing as the Thatcher and Flores are off the board. Perhaps to push people out of those choke points, they are going to utilize those flame bolts as an example. Only Tom can tell. We've got the Zofia, Maverick, Sledge, Habananado. Okay, so no Capital yet. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get a 6 pick or something like that. Or maybe indeed it was just for those concussion. Actually, no, because they get taken up by ADSs too. Interesting. Thus far, both teams kind of going for the old standards, which I do appreciate and respect. Again, we have gone to a very evenly balanced map. Both these teams are full of players who know this game like the back of their hand. I think, you know, Novi, I think, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I think this is going to be a barn burner.
It could be. I mean, last time I said that, we got a 7-1. So last time you said we got a barn burner, we got quite a close game. So I trust your judgment more than mine.
Okay.
With the operator bans, actually what 6 are doing, to me, makes... I kind of respect it, because I was thinking, why the Flores, man? Why not get rid of a hard breacher or something like that? But then I was thinking, of course... What hard breach would I ban? Maybe the Maverick, purely because you can use it to open up attic and it has so much like utility. You can do hatches, you can do everything, plus the grenades. And then, of course, the Whammo ban suddenly means that an attic push suddenly becomes that much easier. It's only ADSs really being anti-utility on it and preventing them from pushing through. It is an old hat sort of push, is not used as much. We've seen a lot more like direct through master bedroom, opening up the Jenny wall, or just the kids dorm, the dormitories, big window push as well. But it gives them that option and a way to deal with the Kaid as well. So I think it's the Whammo ban I'm actually really, really impressed by. I think it's a really, really clever operator to take out of the hands of their nemesis.
Yeah, and well, AJ already getting absolutely stuck in, going to a big tower here, and actually low-key face checking, it would appear. The absolute confidence coming through from 6IXNATION already. And here we go. Lisa's going to make a really nice long line of... Oh! I was going to say line of sight, but that line of sight's actually going to be exploited by Exploitan on the bandit there. A beautiful opening pick onto an absolute gunner. That is AJ. So that's going to be really, really nice for the defensive side right now.
I mean, that just causes so many issues, because right there, as soon as you know that the bandit or someone is around that corner, you can use the Zofia just to blow out the ADS, and then Maverick can just start hailing down grenades. It gives you that wiggle room to really push in and get control. losing the Zofia so early on is disastrous, but that is a good read by Lisa.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that was on a drone or that was just a sixth sense, but a really, really nice pick.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, again, yeah, as you say, potentially a flank drone giving away that utility, so she can react very, very quickly to it. Midnight using the Ayana utility to actually clear some of this Aruni gate out the way as well. I do love it when people utilize that utility. Obviously, of course, if you've got an endless drone that can do things like that, of course you're going to use it over any of those grenades. And wow, beautiful cleanup by Queenella, taking down Straub and Midnight one after another. Little cheeky goo needle being put onto diffusers. It's all down to Lisa and Claude. Ideally, they need to team up now. They need to get by each other and play for the duo push. And there we go. Yep, Lisa, as expected, rotating to join Claude right now, and they can push it together. Or even it would appear maybe go for a pinch here.
Gotta be careful though. Banana's right round the corner. Claude. Clawberry, you've got to check your doors and corners. Doors and corners, always. Vanilla takes the 50-50 gamble. Well, actually, no. Dame, 6 Nation takes the 50-50 gamble. It doesn't pay off. Queenella should pick up this one. Not quite. Lisa with the double. Still 3 more to find. Has to completely ace and clutch out this round. But it's looking less and less likely. 20 seconds. No grenades. Please managed to take out the bulletproof cam, and I think avoids any of the goo mines just on the diffuser. With 10 seconds, has to make the push in. The discipline from Nemesis, swing right at the right time. That beautiful crossfire from the tracers afterwards is just, it warms my little heart.
100%. You really do love to see it. Really, chef's kiss. Seeing those little bullet sprays. Yeah, it's what you like to see. And yeah, beautiful first round coming through from Nemesis there. Again, just the shots coming through so clean. But at the same time, really good work from 6 as well. Obviously, ultimately that round came down to gunfights, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that for sure. I think the one that set it up most was AJ, unfortunately, getting completely obliterated. It was the bandit from XX Politan. It was just like instant headshot to swing, and AJ looked so confident before that, so I'll be interested to see if that affects her slightly. She's onto a different role now with the ace, so has, alongside the Hibana and the Maverick, there is a lot of hard breach potential across this team. Maybe that's just to cover them on bases, so if someone like AJ goes down early on, they've still got plenty of other resources that they can use to start opening walls. It's contingencies in case things don't go to plan.
Absolutely, and it's an interesting one as well, because I think
10 seconds left.
again, like the defense was set up really nicely and by the book and very, very clean, but the attack was also set up to be very, very clean. It's just, again, came down to those very impactful picks, and yeah, ultimately not much you can do as soon as that kind of player count starts falling down.
Already, you said I've got a feeling this is going to be a barn burner. Already, I'm getting that feeling. Like, both teams seem to be like there's that anticipation in the air, that sort of electric feeling between these two teams, because they both seem so. I just want to say good. Like, or like each team, they're doing really good stuff, and then the other one's countering them to get above. So it's like, okay, I'm going to open this up, take this aim duel. Okay, actually, I'm going to match you on that aim duel, and then I'm going to rotate to this position. It's like it feels more like a game of chess than just people pugging out and things like that. It seems you can see the depth in both these teams where they're trying to get one up on their opponent. And right now, a minute has gone. A little bit of damage has gone onto Lisa, but otherwise, pretty much everyone is unscathed. And even then, the engagement, both players back off, reposition. They don't want to be the first person to fall.
Absolutely not, but time is of the essence. We're going to see one hatch get open there. A little bit of retaliation of a C4, but actually seems to be doing more damage to Politan themselves. AJ is going to start making her approach down the street stairs. Missing a few shots into Queenella, but the pressure is certainly starting to be there. from the attack right now. Toxic Barbie getting down. Queen Ella also getting down. Ultimately finished off by Lisa there as well. It's roughly, you know, 3v5. AJ, however, taken down yet again by Risebro Chen. And it's getting a little bit intense now, Novi.
AJ getting a little too aggressive there, jumping over the reload, not just taking the time. I think the time pressure was starting to get to her a little bit and wanted to make moves, but it's fine. The rest of the team is certainly packing a punch. Lisa is phenomenal right now, 5-1. Oh, a fantastic double kill, which Lisa shuts down. Unfortunate for Risebell Chen. And now Lisa is on for the ace. 4 players have fallen to Lisa, looking for one more. Natty's actually going to come around the corner, but it's not quite good enough. Straub takes it, and that is a round on the board. And again, really, really close, right down to the wire.
Absolutely. Yeah, Straub actually a player that I didn't know of until this year, and then I was very, very impressed actually this summer with her performance in CCSW. And again, like I really do love this roster of 6IXNATION. I think it's a really strong and nice roster. And certainly this Nemesis one seems to be very strong too. It's the first time I've seen this roster actually. I don't think I've actually seen Toxic Barbie play compet before either. So this is like a kind of first there. So it's kind of, yeah, again, very interesting. Much to think about. Going to be interesting to see how this season progresses for both of these rosters, I think, personally. And again, it's a really nice matchup for day number 1, to be honest.
I feel like we've got different flavors of Siege so far. First game was very much about, you know, one team being very frag heavy. The other had a little more strategy, but it just, the coordination wasn't quite there. The second game, we just saw pure domination. And then in this one, it's like both teams are stepping up, one-upping each other as we go. And more adaptations, once again, between these teams. The Nomad coming through. I'm not sure if we had it last round. Did we have it last round? I can't quite remember. I think we did. Yeah, we had it for round 1 for sure. But the fact that 6 is making little adaptations depending on where they think the site is, really good sign to see. It shows that they're being proactive, trying to stay ahead of the curve, in, you know, trying to anticipate what they might meet. Natty though is roaming on the vigil. Position should have gotten revealed right then. It has to rotate all the way around. And interestingly, let's see what 6 do with this. How do they try and find this vigil?
Attackers drop the diffuser.
This is it. At the moment, it just seems like a good old-fashioned drone them out and get that dub. AJ putting pressure here onto the top of white. Hopefully gonna hunt down Queen Ella there on the Legion, but for now, it just feels like they're kind of minding their P's and Q's. I'm not sure if they're aware of the players upstairs or whether they're just trying to bait them out a little bit for now. Lots of Nomad air jabs coming through. And there we go. That audio cue is hopefully going to indicate that someone is coming after them from behind.
And again, a minute is gone and no one has fallen. Very similar to last round. Both teams, this is very different from what we saw last map on Oregon. You know, we saw the attackers come in and just blitz their way through, or the defenders playing hyper aggressive. Both teams showed a little bit of aggression in the first round, but then past that point is almost what, you know, standard Siege. Go through the checklist, tick things off as an attacker. Defenders, you're just trying to waste time. You're not really looking for the engagement if you can avoid it. The most important thing is to apply that time pressure. And 6, with less than half the round left, has managed to get the hatch open in security. AJ's underneath as well, so they could potentially get into Freezer and start applying some cross-map pressure. That's first blood. Queen Ella goes down, so the defender's taking the first brunt. But how do the attackers push this advantage even further?
Oh, beautiful shot there by Lisa, taking down Expolitan on the Kaid. So again, narrowing down these players even more. Nadi's going to retaliate, though. First casualty on the side of 6, taking out Clawberry on the Nomad. All that utility, though, is already been used, so it's not too much of a loss utility-wise. Still a lot of room for 6 to work with. But Risebell Chen is going to take down AJ. Midnight's going to get aggressive and is also taken down. A nice little 2k on the board for Risebell. a 2v3. How the turns have tabled, Novi. Straub and Lisa, they really have to make this work for themselves. And well, there we go. Toxic Barbie isn't going to let them get any work underway. It's all left down to Straub now on the Havana. And here's where the defense can start getting a little bit bolshy with it. We're going to see a little flank come through by Toxic Barbie going into the freezer area. Straub, it appears, is going to try and go for a bit of a tacky timeout.
5 seconds left.
Run the clock down. Don't give them the KD.
I respect it.
I respect it. I
Operators,
respect
you are
it.
out
I
of
mean,
time.
you get nothing out of it in 6 seconds. You're not going to really win that round unless there is a huge, unless everyone lines up in a row, which probably isn't going to happen. I mean, I say probably. It's not going to happen. Not at this level, but it could. But it's probably not. I can't say for sure it won't happen because I know if I do that, it's going to cast a curse it.
You will jinx it.
Yeah, we will see the entirety of my Nemesis lineup, and one bullet just goes through all of them. But we shouldn't. Anyway, I respect it from 6, and now Nemesis has bounced back. We saw the hold when they were sort of turtling onto that bottom floor. They really just dug their teeth in. But look at that, the line. Speaking of digging their teeth in, the claws are out as well. Lion going to AJ.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because obviously we have seen some very aggressive pushes now and again from AJ, and that kind of feels like I don't want them to meet me with that same aggression. I want to be aggressive, and I want them to be rolling over as I do it. So that's a very nice little addition. It also obviously, yeah, maintains them in any. I'd say, to be honest, Novi, when you look at that, it's less about making the entire team stay still or just a general kind of intel thing, although it can be that. I'd say that's more of a we are going to push here and we're going to pin you down. AJ has had enough. She is not here to be casual right now. She really wants this dub.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So excited for the line. Let's go. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. AJ, that confidence didn't pay off in the first round. Well, talk about a confident operator. Lion is certainly it. Hit the gadget, watch the dubstep fly. Everyone's screen will shake, and you can run on in and just start popping heads. Once again, an attic push being prioritized. I don't think 6 is going to get too aggressive with peeking through the breach holes until they fully open things up and they can really douse the flames with utility first. But how did Nemesis handle the situation? It's a little bit different for them. You see, I don't think there's any utility around the corner. I don't know what Midnight was shooting at, but this is trophy control, and this is 6 moving very, very quickly.
I kind of feel like this is certainly what they needed. They needed to be a little bit speedier with it, and we are seeing a little bit more, I would say patience, but it's certainly hesitation, certainly around that attic area. They didn't want to peek it too soon. Midnight's going to get a bit of utility in there to clear that people up, so this push can start coming underway from the bedroom side. Nice little two-dimensional push. It's what we love to see. Ooh, beautiful little nade kill there from Lisa. There we go. Perfect. That wall is indeed going to start getting open there by Straub Novi, and that pressure's going to start coming from the attic. Lisa's rotated as well. Goodness gracious me, they've had enough. They are putting all kinds of pressure on Nemesis right now.
I understand AJ looking back here, but really there should be a flank drone or something. Maybe the Nomad air jabs could cover it off. With Lisa, if Lisa's getting on this window, you have to start supporting. AJ actually goes down to the Mozzie, the P10 Roni, taking Hex. The ping's going out. Lisa can swing this round, sees the Mozzie, actually goes to the repeat, gets the headshot. Mozzie goes down, and 6 have the advantage with 45 seconds left in the round, but still checking behind them. They're still concerned. But Lisa could do absolute bits from this position.
100%, and again, it's probably just a lack of intel utility there, but I understand the concern completely. Midnight going to take down Natty. It's all left down to Queenella and Toxic Barbie on the side of Nemesis to try and prevent this plan from going down, but it looks like they're going for it. Straub is going to stick it in the default spot. Can they cover for this? Midnight using some of that drone utility, distracting Toxic Barbie momentarily, so Lisa can get that pick. It's all left down to Queenella. She sees a player in the kids area, and she also notices a player outside the window. Very difficult to know where to come from there, but Lisa is going to finish it off, and a very clean round from 6.
Very clean. I mean, it is going... This is exactly what we asked for. Back and forth, back and forth. 2-2. I mean, if I said it was a barn burner, we would not be getting this game. I just want to highlight that. This is only because you said it, Grace.
Thank you. I am indeed a magic person who can make magic things happen with words.
And games, apparently. I mean, this is living up to the hype. I feel like, when is it going to break? When is one of these teams going to string together more than one round in a row and sort of shut the other team out? Okay, we're seeing both teams faking the 6th pick off.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Deciding on the same lineup, not even going to try and fool. AJ still on the line. And respell chain on the Mozzie. I mean, both teams are kind of just like, all right, this is just up to execution. You know, this isn't anything to do with strategy. Nemesis not deciding to change anything. They're like, it was fine. We just lost a few gunfights here. If we change this and that, we should be absolutely fine. And they've gone for the same setup. I think the attic control was key. I think they have to accept that they're probably going to lose it. But if they want to contest it, maybe play underneath. Like, open up the floor right under the breach and then play in the meeting hall. And cause a few problems there. Like, just switch things up a little bit and give some avenues. With the Aruna, you can easily go around and open up all the hatches to give you avenues to escape from. So there's certainly options there. But instead, choosing to play closer to the site.
Yeah. And this is, again, it's really interesting to see both teams adapt to each other, kind of, to be honest, as time progresses. What I will say as well is, you know, yes, it is a very even Stevens map. It is very equal. You know, we often say it's a really good first map to take a team to. Or if it's a team that you want to kind of get the feelers out a little bit, always take them to Oregon Clubhouse. But the fact that it's even Stevens already is a very, very exciting going forward. And I think for 6, it is still a little bit harder on attack. Like I will say, it is still a little bit harder. As I say, time is a 6th defender. 9 times out of 10, the defense have the advantage, but they roughly know the steps you're going to take to get to them. So yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting one.
Okay, we've got attic breach open. They're going to get the walk-in master bedroom open as well into Jenny. So that should provide a few options. Sure, but actually going to take cross angle here, so it's going to take the engagement. If any actually reveal themselves, get swung. It's completely obliterated. XX Politan completely decimates. I think it's a 1-for-1 trade though, so at least it's consistent. Ah, that's annoying, losing a frag grenade like that. Thought to take out the bulletproof camp, but at least Clawberry is on the big window and can provide some crossfire. The Sharia gates are really just causing problems for them with their utility. Despite the Wamai ban, it's just causing them problems, but they still got the person advantage. 3 people are down for Nemesis. Make that 4. He's just narrowly left in a 1-on-4 with the dubstep music playing. This is why Lion's so effective. Now has been spotted out by the drone as well, so it should just be being absolutely encircled. The line approaching from every single angle. The Pride is going to go hunting. Midnight takes down Natty, and that's 6 getting another round.
Yeah, and I will say, one thing I'm going to find quite interesting is when the side switch is how Nemesis are going to bring their attacking operators. Because at this point, I'd be like, okay, you're bringing that line, you're pinning us down. Do we punish you with that same torture device, I suppose? Do we punish you with that same thing? Or do we stick to how we have scrimmed for this map? Do we stick to what we planned? Do we stick to what we have prepared? Because, yeah. Oh, well, actually, as we say that, you know, AJ is going to 6 back onto the A. So we know she's thinking about it, Novi. The Twitch.
Ooh, okay. All right. I dig it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I do feel like Twitch is kind of... I mean, Twitch is a great operator, but I feel like sometimes she's gets swapped out for other things when actually she would still be quite quite valuable to the team. It just really depends how the team is built around her. I think when relying on the shock drone, a little too much, that's when you tend to see teams fall apart. When it's this extra bit of utility you can bring to the table. Plus the F2 is a great gun. Like, that thing is just fantastic for entries as well, alongside the smokes. You've got a lot. The operator's got a lot going for her. So it's nice to see it being picked up. Again, a change for 6Nation. They're really switching gears, trying to keep NEMESIS on their toes. And I mean, what's better to change is when you're ahead, you know, your opponent's trying to catch up, but you've already moved 3 steps ahead, and it causes issues. Let's see if it works out for them. AJ, once again, they're going for that big tag control. This is a staple of this team. Get big tag control, and then we'll move across them.
But that I completely like that. I completely love that. I think that's very by the book. I think it's very sensible. I think, you know, 9 times out of 10, this is a roster of gunners. If you play by the book, you can really allow yourself to just play into your mechanical ability as well. And AJ, once again, getting a little bit aggressive. They are making this very, very swift push down towards pillars. Of course, you do expect that operator to be in the default position behind pillars, the main pillar as well. So, again, going to be very interesting to see how 6 deal with this, how they try and bait out AJ on this Twitch drone, looking for utility, looking to see that. Oh! As she saw the electric claw, that Twitch drone is going to get shot out immediately. So this is a point where you want Lisa to rotate to meeting. There we go. I think she is indeed rotating to meeting, and she's going to start using that blowtorch instead, potentially to get those hatches open. Although it does look like they're going to try and go for the Twitch drone once again. Oh, they did this. They decided to go for the duo, to be honest. I mean, that's sensible. That's sensible. Go for the same thing at the same time. One of it will work, you know?
Covers their bases. You know, now the Mav has the freedom to just rotate off anyway, and someone else can open up. They're still choosing to use the Maverick Breach. Sorry, the blowtorch. I guess it also stops a guide. I'm not sure if you can quite reach up that high, but it's also from just removing it and putting it somewhere else and causing problems. AJ is just going to push on down, and there's the first blood drawn, immediately answered back by Rice. And now, with a minute remaining, things get very tricky. The lineup for the Rooks just not quite there with the ACOG, and Straub is going to be looking as well to aggress towards this pillar position. Is going to be pivotal for 6 to mount their attack. And there's another kill. NEMESIS falling by the wayside. 50 seconds remain, and then potentially another one is about to go down from Freezer.
Yeah, I think there's a point where Claude needs to, hold this angle, this exact angle. This is where she needs to be staying, and the rest of them need to go for that collapse and plant. Ooh, a little bit of an unfortunate one there. Quinella taking down, no, Nadia actually taking down Claude Brie. Quinella taking down Elisa. It's all left down to Straw and Midlight. However, turns have tabled yet again, Novi. Midlight taking down Toxic Barbie, a 2v2 situation. 20 seconds on the clock. Bit of utility used to clear some space. Needed to go for this execute.
15 seconds left.
Okay, that was huge. Quinella going down. Natty actually with the vigil.
10 seconds remaining.
Gadget has a little bit of freedom. The lineup's just not quite there. It's being stuck. Pros don't fake, but Straub maybe he should have, but it's fine.
Too close.
The sun, well, the moon, or everything is just getting eclipsed because it's midnight, complete and utter blackout. And 6 somehow pull up that final round to push them ahead. That round looked like it was going to be a 3-3 split. That's what it looked like on paper, but somehow Midnight exceptionally done.
Oh, goodness gracious, yeah, that absolutely, you know, I mean, it just makes your stomach tense up. Like, oh, that could have gone either way then, especially towards the end bit. Obviously, you know, managing to get the pick onto the player, going for the plant. Of course, at that point, you're like, they have little time. I just have to run away. But turning your back when there's a very angry Midnight running towards you to get that final pick. Could have gone either way. It really could have gone either way, Novi. That was way too close for comfort on both sides. But indeed, only one team can come out on top, and it is going to be 6Nation. And they're going to be coming out on top for that first half of this game as well. And now they're flipping over to the defense. And this is what I'm very interested in indeed, because they played that, as I say, very by the book, very standard. Will this defense be the same? Thus far, we see Midnight prepping this rotation towards blue. Perhaps we're going to see the shield in the default spot. There we are. Nice little shield in that elbow corner of blue as well. Presumably going to be protected by some ADSs. Also, we've got the Goyo, so extra shield utility, presumably around pillars. maybe around Freezer as well. They're really covering all basics, and again, it's very standard, very by the book, but that works, Novi. It works.
5 seconds to go.
I mean, things become meta for a reason. You know, like, it's not because everyone just agreed, okay, we're going to play this inferior strat. No, it works, which is why it's meta. It's why everyone does it. And then that's when teams have to get a little bit creative. When you are running into that brick wall of meta strategy, how do you blow open that wall, bash all the bricks out, and get through it? And that's where the IGLs and the teams and any of the support staff and the players themselves have to be really creative in their individual playing, both before the game and afterwards, as well as during. You know, through all cases, they need to be thinking about how they're going to tackle this. NEMESIS, the only real change is the swap from, you know, the third hard breach to the Thermi. Instead, the Fragmite is making a reappearance. We love to see it. But also no Nomad as well for NEMESIS. So they're going to be relying on flank drones more than the air jabs. And it could mean more flexibility for the defenders.
Again, I do kind of feel... Ooh, that's a little bit risky biscuits. Is Queenella going in with limited intel? So presumably, yeah, she's a little bit concerned that there might be someone on T1 right now, but... I mean, for now, it seems like they are trying to cover every single part of the map. They're trying to clear this as fast as they possibly can. They've already got a lot of control here, but mostly that's down to the fact that 6 have basically given it to them for free. Again, I think 6 expected a more standard approach here. The NEMESIS have gone for a full map clear, which, again, very, very safe, very by the book. Do like to see it.
I don't know what's more, like, torturing, like, hearing Maverick getting just tagged down by the electricity. Or how little health Toxic Barbie has left. Actually, AJ goes down first. Aruni towards that Exopolitan. Really, really consistently good. Not going to be good enough for a second. Clawberry is going to take him down. The Thermite falling, so they've lost that hard breach. At least Exopolitan can then get on the flank drones, which, you know, is hyper important if 6 Nation decide to go on some kind of flank. Having Exopolitan available, she can watch those drones. Watch out for the team, especially when the time is ticking. But here's the engagement. They've got to make a move soon. There's 25 seconds.
25 seconds in T, 25 seconds and a dream. How much work can they realistically do in that 25 seconds? Well, Nadi is going to do some work taking down Straub as another pick here. Claude's taking a significant amount of damage. They're just going for these gunfights and they're winning them. Rifle Chen taking down Lisa, Nadi taking down Claude. It's all left down to mid-high. SMG-11 in hand. But there we go. Wow. Sometimes you just have to go for it, Novi.
Sometimes you just got to send it. That was... Like you always say, that's a little bit risky biscuits, I feel like. By Quinella pushing that one. Just because, hypothetically, that's a 1v1. That if Midnight wins that, she's now left in a 2v1, and someone is sticking the diffuser, which means that she's left in a 1v1. And then if she wins that, diffuser is planted, and then it's a third 1v1. And there is just a step-by-step way of someone getting back into the game through that clutch situation. And I'd like to see maybe just playing it a little more safer, I think, from NEMESIS. Don't need to go that aggressive. You can just hold the position.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And maybe not give, because we see what Midnight can do when she's in a clutch situation. Midnight is absolutely cracked.
I think realistically, they didn't do anything wrong about last round. It was just that they didn't expect the last-minute aggression. But of course, who does, you know? You expect people, maybe if they get towards the end like that, they get a bit flustered and they don't win their ones. But yeah, NEMESIS just made that look very controlled, to be honest, for what normally would be a very chaotic situation.
5 seconds to go.
Significantly strong players on that roster. I mean, yeah, look at these kill counts already. The proof is in the pudding, as they say, Novi. And oh, I thought that was Lisa going for a spawn peek then.
I want to see it. The Valkyrie is
do.
available. And no one is bringing IQ. So chuck some Valk cams outside and just have at it with the runouts, because it will force Nemesis to adapt. And then suddenly they lose a pick that they're quite liking, whether it's, I don't know, the Nomad or the Twitch, and they have to swap out just to respect the Valkyrie with the IQ. Be nice to see, but I feel like Lisa's instead using the Black Eyes a little bit closer to home, providing some intel support for the team. But there's another gear that 6IXNATION, if they have it, that they can switch into. It's just realizing when is the most appropriate time to play that hyper-aggressive style.
It's just interesting to see how thoroughly Nemesis want to absolutely clear every single nook and cranny of the map. It's really like they are expecting some, what I consider very nice, dirty, ratty plays from 6IXNATION. And 6IXNATION actually are playing just very, very safely, very clean, very by the book, as I say. So it's interesting to see them read each other like that. AJ getting the opening pick of this round, taking down Naddy. That is the Ashe off the board with all of that utility. Presumably that was downstairs as well, so that's quite an interesting one, actually.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see with the SMG-11 on the mutes. Very, I mean, I adore watching the SMG-11 because my, you know, or I'm trying to think of a broadcast safe way of flaming myself and how bad I am mechanically. I can't use the SMG-11. I suck. But it's fantastic watching really skilled players use it. You know, it's such a, you know, when that SMG-11 one tap, oh, it's like seeing the crossfires on the traces. It's just something that you love to see. And both these teams are delivering that mechanical performance. Queenella is actually pushing for the engagement. The Valkyrie somehow runs out. Actually gets beaten. No, Lisa, you did not deserve to win that. That is awful for Nemesis, but at least there's some kind of reply against the info core as well. The Desert Eagle being busted out gets completely gunned down. Exits Politan. She's going to be like livid at how Lisa got away with that one.
Got away with that one, and also getting away with the diffuser. You know, Toxic Barbie and Ricebell cared upstairs right now, but they do not have that diffuser, and there's 13, 12, 11 seconds on the board, Novi. There is nothing they can do in the situation. Claude's going to take down Ricebell 10. Toxic Barbie's going for kills. There's nothing she can do. Just pull back and go for the tacky timeout.
And there we go.
Operators, you have
6IXNATION push forward once again. This game. It's certainly delivering. We said it was this clash between these two sides. We knew, I feel like, less about Nemesis. We recognize, you know, Toxic Barbie, but the rest of them we kind of, you know, maybe weren't on our radar. But they're really performing. They're delivering. But 6IXNATION has just found that groove. And this is, you know, they've won this round. So far, it's been very back and forth swapping each time. This is 6IXNATION's opportunity to push further, put it onto a map point, and suddenly all the pressure is on Nemesis. 6IXNATION just need to execute cleanly. As long as they don't make a mistake, it's theirs to win. But that requires them winning this round. Now, the operators, though, the mute being swapped to the Kaid, but also the alibi as well. Of course, really favorable with the little pocket shotgun. I know you love alibi.
Really,
it is a really, especially with Frost as well, and the whole thing about having deployable shield plus a shotgun to help out the site. Alibi is kind of being clocked on as this. Can do the exact same thing.
100%. Yeah, I've said this for a very long time now, which is why we both laugh. But yeah, first of all, very, very good utility, I'm just going to say, especially if you're playing against players who might try and be a little bit aggressive here, there and everywhere. Obviously, if they see a head, they're going to try and click it, and that's going to give you that immediate live ping of their location. So it's a little cheeky bait and switch to get some utility. Then, of course, yes, for Bailiff as a secondary, you can create, you know, blowout hatches, you can create rotation holes. It is like a mini shotgun. You get the shield on top of it. The gun is just a nice gun, to be honest. Very clean, very easy to control. Yeah, chef's kiss. Absolutely adore that we're seeing more alibi used in comp across many different leagues, and certainly I am pleased to see Lisa on it.
Especially with the way Lisa's been fragging, 14 kills to 4, almost a 4 KD. I mean, like, I mean, anything above 1 KD is good. Like, she is just on another level at the moment. Like you said, Alibi compared to the Frost, I'll say, you know, Alibi's weapon is just leaps and bounds, you know, better for taking those quick engagements, faster fire rate, recoil is pretty easy to control as well. It just gives a more dynamic style. And a player like Lisa can absolutely make that work.
But this is, again, it's like, I so, as a roster, this 6 rosters are so nice again. Like, really, really pleasant roster. Absolute gunners. Again, AJ, not her best performance today, but she's so cracked. There have been so many moments where it's just like, oh my goodness gracious, did you really have to do it to them? So please keep your eyes on, you know, to be honest, both these rosters throughout this season. Because I do think NEMESIS are absolutely putting in some work here to try and combat everything 6 are bringing to the table. And, you know, certainly in that, you know, first half of this, there were some very, very nice and aggressive takedowns coming through from NEMESIS as well.
Bomb located by
I do kind of feel like, well, not so much deja vu, but I'll say that there's a different kind of, well, different kind of energy from the previous maps we've had, but the same energy this entire time where, again, it's very standard, very by the book. Everyone's approaching this in a very typical way where they want to be able to be as, not safe as possible, but they just want to be as standard as possible so they can then influence the rounds more on their mechanical ability, and I absolutely am here for it. Both sides taking casualties as far, Lisa and Expolitan falling, and we're hopefully going to see again a lot of aggression come through down this freezer wave. But for now, Toxic Barbie is going to take down Midnight, whistling down the defense ever more. Novi,
attackers have located a bomb.
I feel like Toxic Barbie's been a little bit quiet, but now she's going to adjust desserts. 2 kills, make that 3 as well, completely tearing apart 6Nation, and NEMESIS were not going to go out without a fight. Straub is going to stand up and peek around the corner. It's a wide swing by Natty, takes Straub down, and that is 6Nation falling behind, and NEMESIS stepping the game up once again. They trail by 1, but 6Nation haven't managed to get that all-elusive map point.
No, not quite yet. I think they're very much well, I wouldn't even, to be honest, I'm not going to say they're clinging on by the skin of their teeth, because NEMESIS are putting in some absolute work this map. They really are. They are playing some very good Siege, and I think that there are moments where, especially if you watch the positioning of the players and things like that, you can see the mechanics, you can see the thinking behind why they're doing what they're doing, and I think this is just a really nice matchup, to be honest. And again, I think out of, fair enough if we didn't get a overtime yet, but realistically this could go to overtime, Novi. This really, really could.
Oh, are you going to cast the cursor? You're going to call it now?
No.
I mean, honestly, like, okay, being very candid with the audience, often we joke about Oregon going OT because we see it so much, it's actually ridiculous. But between these two teams, I would like to see it. I think it would be a really good test for both these sides. And like, the games today have been exceptional, all for different reasons, and this one is just bringing that different flavor. You know, we've had so many different flavors today, and this is, you know, this is like that cherry on top. You know, we've had all the other games have been delicious, but now we've got that sweet glacé cherry on the top that we're just nomming on right now, and we could potentially get even more by going to OT.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Although, yeah, still grumbling about how much people seem to be going kitchen dining again. Please, can we start going kitchen meeting?
Go kitchen meeting.
Bane of my life, of my life, Novi. But for now, I think NEMESIS have got on to the fact that they can pretty much get small tower for free. So Nadi's going to start droning that out, making sure that they haven't planned any nasty surprise within there. And we're going to, again, this is the push I was talking about. That people should just easily take advantage of when it comes to people deciding to pick these sites. You get small tower very, very easily. You've got that tiny side office now where, yeah, here we go. Nadi's going to use a lot of this soft destructibility, get a nice line of sight, take away anything that could be preventing the hard breach from doing its job. Then you get the wall open, then you get shower control. It's very clean. It's very clean, very simple. Simples.
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 I think Oh! All right, never mind. Thank you, AJ. Not letting me make my point. Okay, I see you. I see you. That's a nice nitrocell kill. I was gonna say it makes unless you're trying to put someone in the sort of essentially like one and done position. You've got no support in small tower. It doesn't make much sense to go to this site Lyco for meeting kitchen. You should really be contesting it somehow. I think I was discussing it was refresh, but to be fair, using the nitro cells to then sort of get some kind of advantage, it fulfills the same option. But maybe Nemesis should have read that was a possibility.
Well, this is it too, because obviously AJ hasn't fallen back into kitchen, which is very good going, because obviously she now knows, okay, in order for this execute to happen, they need to take showers control. So I'm going to reposition myself to the shield overlooking shower corridor. So now you've got a player in showers and a player in shower corridor. That is a very strong defense that now we're going to have to see Nemesis use a lot of utility and a lot of gun skill to try and clear. They cannot go for this execute unless they clear that area.
User has been dropped.
Oh, this is just clean and clinical. But we were predicting at the start, very clean and clinical for Nemesis. It's actually been like that for 6. Very, very clear on what they need to do. And Nemesis just need to take the gunfights. That maybe is the misplay that they need, but not a lot of time to get on board. Lisa shuts down Riceball Chen. And now it's a 2-on-4. Toxic Barbie, Quinella. The last 2 remaining, split up along opposite sides of the map. Showers control still not in their favor. 10 seconds remaining. They've just got to make the push. The information is going to be read out. No sound cues, but it doesn't even matter. Clawberry actually goes down. It's a double kill for Quinella. Can potentially push this even further. Got to find the headshot, but Lisa shuts that dream down. And now 6 Nation are pushing on to that map point.
Yes, indeed. And I think maybe I have jinxed it then, Nuvi. All 6 need to do now is batten down the hatches and play a very strong, relatively safe defense. Again, we have just seen from that last round that they know exactly what map control needs to be maintained. It is indeed very, very risky biscuits to go to that previous site, in my opinion. But we did see as soon as that wall was open, AJ knew what she had to do. They knew where the control needed to be maintained. And it's little things like that that I'm like, they get it. They're here to win. They want that bread.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And now, of course, the pressure's on Nemesis. Like you said, 6 Nation look like they know exactly what they're doing. Now, simply, what they've been doing has been working. It's up to Nemesis to try and change anything, find a strategy that works. But they cannot put a single foot wrong. They make one mistake and 6 Nation capitalizes on it. Done and dusted. That's the map. 7-4. No chance of recovery. This isn't a best of 3 series. This is best of 1. You've got to make every single round count.
10 seconds left.
The only caveat to that is if Nemesis get this one and then get the next, suddenly 6 has blown the lead. And we're into OT, and then suddenly everything gets thrown out the window, and we start everything all over again.
I'm curious to see. Okay, yeah, so AJ is going to stay in kitchen, of course. Mute C4 in pocket. It is beneficial often to have someone with a C4 downstairs, just in case they go for that direct window plan. That's why we've also got that nice line of sight to that bunk's window as well. This is why you would expect Nemesis to try and go for, again, just a nice clear, get that map control, hunt down any roamers that may be lurking. But for now, it seems like they're actually going a bit more direct. Could match point be putting pressure on them, Novi?
It could. But to be honest, if there is a moment where you're just going to completely flip the script and go for something new, why not do it when your back's against the wall? This is... I feel a lot of teams, when they get to map point, they don't intentionally take their foot off the gas, but they get a little bit complacent. And I see a lot of teams do that. And I feel like that's, this is probably the most stressful time, because you've basically backed a team into a corner where they have no other option just to full-on send it. But it doesn't matter when AJ is just consistently getting nitro cells. That's the diffuser down. They traded 1 for 1, and one of the hard bridges has been taken off. They still got the Havana to open up the wall. That does limit their options.
It really does. And again, yeah, that thermite being taken away is very, very significant. Because, yeah, I think sometimes as well the X-Kairos can make it a little bit of a wonkier hole. Oh, a little bit of a flashing yourself situation coming through from Risebell Chan. They're going to start applying this pressure to this trophy area as well, presumably clearing a lot of this utility so a frag grenade can come through. But that rolls back as well. Again, maybe this pressure is starting to get to them. A few little mistakes coming through on the side of Nemesis right now, but that wall is nice and open, and they're going to retaliate with some more toxic base on that trophy area. They know that these attackers are getting desperate, and they realistically, all you need to do now if you're on 6 Nation is pull back, to hold these angles, hold these crossfires, and just let them make mistakes.
And when you've got that time pressure, you don't think, maybe if I got a big window, I could add a little crossfire, an extra crossfire angle to this. Maybe I can support my team like this. There's so much pressure and time against them with 30 seconds remaining. Claude, here's the reload. She swings the corner and finds it. Loses out to Quinella and engage, but with 25 seconds, she might have just done enough to push her team across the finish line. Straub misses the engagement range, misses the second. The plant's been stuck, but actually I don't think Midnight is close enough. It should be hearing the plant going down, but actually stepping out in the open. Straub gets it, downs Nirvana on the diffuser, and that will be it. It looked like we could well be going overtime, but 6IXNATIONHQ had other plans. They take it 7-4.
7-4. That is a very nice score to finish this first Playday off, certainly. I will say, Nemesis played that very, very well. Obviously, only one team can win. And you know, realistically, both teams, to be honest, they absolutely played into this idea of we can go very back to basics, we can go very, very standard with this, and then ultimately just rely on our mechanical ability. Again, these are two rosters filled with absolute gunners, so you really do love to see it. You love to see it sometimes come down to those gunfights. Very spicy, mwah, chef's kiss. Ultimately, I do think there's a few points here, there, and everywhere where both those teams are going to be like, yeah, we need to fix that. But that was just some really good siege, Novi.
Yeah, I mean, that for me was the most exciting game we had. It didn't even have to go OT. Both teams were really showing us what they had. And every time one team was like, here's my trump card, the other one was like, Uno reverse. And it just turned it around the other way. Honestly, I even though it's Oregon, I love seeing games like that. They're so exciting.
Absolutely, 100%. But we are going to be joined here by the beautiful AJ. AJ, how do you feel right now?
We all feel amazing. Like, the hype was so good today. Everyone's on point.
Amazing. Love to hear it. I mean, you know, Playday 1 to come off on a dub, that's got to feel really, really good. Would you say that there's any parts of that last game that perhaps were a little bit unexpected for you?
We didn't actually expect them to be so aggressive, but we kind of clicked onto it and tried to play off that. There was mistakes made, like we know. We're going to work on them. So,
I mean, honestly, across the board, it was so impressive seeing how, as you were going, the team was sort of developing and adapting. Like you said, you were taken off guard maybe by how aggressive they were. And we saw the adaptations from a third party. We watched as you all were working through them and finding an answer. Do you think that there's any other teams in the league that might cause issues like this and might cause you to, I don't know, have a bit of a close game with?
Yeah, not written anyone off. Everyone looks great from so far today and in quals. We're excited to get playing everyone, you know?
Well, I suppose if you're excited to play everyone, is there anyone that you're the most excited to play? Whether that's because you're friends with them, or it's banter, or you just want to see how you fare against them,
or you want to beat them.
Honestly, we're really excited to play Sparkle because every time we've played them, it's been so fun. We actually had fun playing them, as in it's a close game, and they're a bunch of gunners, and obviously they did an amazing day as well.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, I guess, yeah, onwards and upwards, really. I think that's obviously a very, very strong performance for your opening pick. Again, there was a lot of moments where I felt very, very, very a big sense of pride, I'd say. Just little things that are just really nice to look at and analyze, to be honest, from like our perspective. And again, I'm very excited to see how you guys fare going forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah. I suppose, Ben, is there any closing words where you want to, maybe give a message to your supporters at 6 or anything like that?
We appreciate everyone who like obviously came and watched us, but also want to say like massive thanks to OPL like putting this on, and Jess, obviously everyone got involved. Like, this is insane. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, AJ, for joining us for this interview, and we look forward to seeing you play in the rest of the season.
Thank you for casting as well, you guys. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, that's fantastic. She's lovely.
I love AJ, honestly. What a gunner.